If you clicked on this video, I'm going to guess that you are looking for a hybrid third row family hauler. That way, you can get the kids to where they need to go and also not have to mortgage your house every time you pull up to the pump. Well, today it is your lucky day because we are going to cover the differences between the 2024 and 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, starting from the bottom going all the way up to the top. So if you're wondering which Santa Fe Hybrid is right for you, this is exactly the video you need to watch until the end. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the differences. So to start off, the standard package, or the package number one, is the Santa Fe SEL Hybrid. Now, do not be tricked into thinking the standard package is the base model, because once you get done seeing all the standard features, you might just be amazed. But being that it's a hybrid, not only do you have a 1.6 liter turbo with the hybrid powertrain, but you can get up to 36 miles per gallon in the city and 35 miles per gallon on the highway if you decide to go with the front wheel drive version. Of course, being a hybrid, you still do get America's best warranty, which is 10 years or 100,000 miles of the powertrain, which does include the electric motors and the hybrid battery, which is cool. And of course, only the hybrids get these cool looking aero style wheels because you want efficient airflow. A few more things that you as the owner will benefit from on the package one are more of a ease of use thing. So from the outside, you can see these little circles on the bumper, front and rear, because you do have forward and reverse parking sensors that beep. And something that I absolutely love, you do have remote start on the key. So if it's a really hot day or really cold day, you could pre-warm or pre-cool the car before ever stepping foot out of your house. And when you actually crack open that rear door, you notice it's fully electrified. There is no manual opening and closing. You just push a button on the key fob or on the door, it opens and closes at the push of a button. Diving on the inside with the SEL, you do have Hyundai's H-Tex leather seats. They are synthetic leather, but if you have a lot of people going in and out of the car, or if you just have little ones munching up granola bars and spilling stuff on the seat, it is much easier to clean with the Hyundai H-Tex leather, and believe me, it looks incredible. Not only do you have that Hyundai H-Tex leather, but you're also going to get air-conditioned vents in the rear, so that way people in the back aren't going to suffer from heat stroke or die of hypothermia when the people up front are nice and comfy. You want to hear a joke? What's the difference between the third row of the Santa Fe and Trick Cereal? The third row is not just for kids, because I'm 6'1" and I can still sit back here comfortably. So if you have family members or children who are less than 6'1", everybody should have enough space to sit, so that way if you guys are going out, you don't have to pay for extra parking. If you happen to move from that third row to that second row, here's a few more things you actually might enjoy as a passenger. First and foremost, the second row seats can actually recline. Technically, the third row seats recline just slightly, but the second row is much more pronounced. So if you do not need to sit in the third row, go ahead and sit in that second row. You are going to love it. And if you need a few charging options too, just like its bigger brother, the Palisade, the Santa Fe actually has these USB-C chargers in the sides of the front two seats. The Santa Fe actually does have this opening center console that you can open from the front or open from the rear. Beyond that, there's a little pull-out tray underneath there, so that way you can get a little bit more storage for whatever it is that you might need. And you need a little bit more refuge from the sun, that second row might be the place to be, because those windows are actually quite nicely tinted. Now, I feel pretty confident telling you this because if you happen to like that second row, you are probably going to love it once you actually make it up front, because there's a lot of comfort, tech, and safety features. But let's go ahead and start off with comfort. A few things that I personally love is the electric driver's seat. The driver's seat is fully electrified, so that way instead of having to pull on handles or pull on levers, you just push a button and the seat goes to wherever it is that you need it to be. Another great thing is dual air conditioning, so passenger and driver can be in two totally different air temperature zones to be as comfy as possible. And of course, you do have heated seats along with that. Another great thing is that you're also going to have a wireless charger. So if you happen to charge your phone, or if your earbud case is actually wirelessly charged, just put it right there on the cell phone charger and then you're good. Now, as far as safety, you do not have to compromise with the Santa Fe because it brings a lot of stuff as standard equipment. Obviously, you have forward collision avoidance assist, so the car can hit the brake if you don't have enough time to. The car can actually let you know if somebody's in your blind spot, because they do have the blind spot mirrors there. And you do have lane keeping and lane following assist. Basically, they are two different things that work the same way depending on the speed. If you're going at highway speed, the car can actually help you maintain in the lane and let you know if you're going over the lines. But if you're going at very slow speeds, you have the lane follow assist, which is basically keep you in the middle mode. It feels like it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, which is really, really nice. Now, as far as the cool factor, I love the fact that this entire dashboard is curved and digitized. Now, something that you may personally like is the fact that this does have wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto, so that way you don't need to plug anymore. Just connect your phone and then voila, you have the GPS right there on your nav. Now, another great thing is that you also are going to benefit from something called Hyundai's BlueLink system. It's kind of like Chevy's OnStar system. You can do a lot of stuff from the convenience of your cell phone. Do you want to start your car but don't have your key handy? No worries. Go ahead to climate start, set the temperature, and then turn your Santa Fe Hybrid on. Have you lost your key and you can't drive home? No worries. Digital key on your app will allow you to turn your cell phone into a key, so that way you could drive home and not be stranded anywhere. And if you ever get into an accident, the Hyundai people will actually call you from the emergency center to make sure you're okay. And let's say you can't even respond, they will have paramedics rolling to your position immediately, even without you having to call them. So it's an amazing feature, and one of the best parts about it is that it's actually free for life on 24 and 25 Hyundai Santa Fe models if you happen to buy it new. So that's a lot of bang for your buck, I guess. Now, I know what you're thinking. Holy crap, all that's available on the package 1 with the Santa Fe Hybrid? Yeah, it's available on the package 1. But let's say if you're not a package 1 type of person, or you just want to see how far you can go. Well, the next step is actually go from the SEL Hybrid to the Limited Hybrid, and all you got to do to know which one you're looking at is to look for these types of rims. One thing I will say about hybrids in general is that a lot of them look weird. They look funky. There's something off about the way that the hybrids look, but Hyundai wanted to rectify that, and realistically, a limited hybrid and a limited non-hybrid actually look exactly the same, unless you see the hybrid on the back or pop open the hood and see those orange cables running through. Now, what are the things you get with the limited besides those big old wheels? Well, I'm glad you asked, because as you can see, not only do you get everything I just mentioned, plus a few goodies with those bigger wheels, but you actually do have a sunroof. Technically, if you look inside, you have a double sunroof, one in front that actually opens up fully, so that way you can stick your hand through it, and one in back, so that way you can have a sky view. Even though the glass stays in place, you can see what's outside the vehicle, which is really, really nice. Beyond that, you still have forward and backwards parking sensors, but with limited hybrid, you're also going to get parking sensors on the side of the vehicle, so that way the vehicle can actually sense what's next to it. And to go with that, you happen to have a 360-degree camera view, so that way when you're parking in confined space, you can park with confidence, not just listening, but also seeing with your eyes too. Another great thing is that you're also going to get the Smart Park Assist. So, do you need the car to come to you? No problem. Go ahead, start the car, and have it roll out to you. Friends and family are going to be impressed, and even the strangers at Starbucks if you happen to have the car come to you. Now, another great thing is that if you happen to hop on the inside, not only are you going to benefit from the heated seats up front, but you actually have ventilation in the front now, so whether you need to cool down or warm up, the Santa Fe is going to have your front and back. Another great thing is that you're going to also have something quite interesting. It is called UVC, Ultraviolet Cleanser. Every single Santa Fe has this little top storage compartment on the dash, which they could put a bunch of extra stuff for storage. But if you happen to go limited, you also get included some ultraviolet lights inside. So if you have something that you need to decontaminate, all you have to do is put whatever that object is in that little compartment, close the door, and then hit this big old button in the center console that says UVC for ultraviolet cleanser. In about 10 to 15 minutes, most if not all the microbes that were on the surface should be gone. Some more stuff. If you are a big time music head, the limited hybrid is also going to bring the Bose surround sound speaker system, so no matter wherever you're sitting in the cabin, you'll hear the crispest sound. Oh, before I forget, also, the front passenger seat in the Limited is not manual anymore. It actually becomes electrified. So if that's an important thing to you, look at the Limited Hybrid. Now, if you go from that first row to that second row, another great thing that you'll gain is the heated seats. So you can sit up front or in the middle and still have the seats warm you up. And if you make your way into that third row, you have a few more charging options. Not only do you have USB-C plugs to charge up whatever device needs charging, but you actually have a 115-volt wall outlet. So that way, if you don't happen to have an adapter, you can just plug whatever that is into the Santa Fe and go about enjoying your day. For the most part, the Limited Hybrid should be absolutely everything that you need in a vehicle, and yet it's still not the top of the line. It is one of the best equipped cars in its class, but Hyundai doesn't give you good enough. They give you the best they have. So if you're wondering, what is the best hybrid Santa Fe? Allow me to introduce you to the Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy. At a glance, you might have a hard time distinguishing the Limited from the Calligraphy, especially from the front view. They look nearly identical, but nearly isn't identical because there are some telltale signs. A few exterior differences that denote the Calligraphy is different than Limited is going to be the grille. As you can see, you have these little triangle shapes on the grille, giving a more 3D effect, letting you know that it's a little bit more upscale. Another great thing that really makes it feel more upscale are the painted wheel arches and lower trim pieces. On the Limited and SEL, you do not get them painted, but of course, top of the line vehicle gets top of the line features, and one of the biggest differences are the rims. The rims on the Limited are really cool, but when you go Calligraphy, you have this multi-spoked black wheel design that you only find on the Calligraphy Hybrid. So let's do a scenario. Let's say that you are trying to look for a Calligraphy, but you can't see the bottom half of the car for some reason. What is another way to tell that you're looking at a Calligraphy? Well, I will show you one little detail that could be a big difference, and it is right here, the grab handle. So all Calligraphy Hybrids will actually have this grab handle. That way, if you need to load some stuff right here up onto the top, you have an extra place to grab. And the good thing about it is that only 3 vehicles have it. You have it on the non-hybrid XRT, and you have it on both versions of the Calligraphy, hybrid and non-hybrid. So if you have 1,000 cars to look through, that little detail might actually save you a ton of time. And once you actually locate a Calligraphy, the only thing that's left to do is to open the doors, have a peek on inside, and see what the differences are. Now, some of these differences are going to be practical, others are going to be design, but they all share one thing in common. You will only find these things in a Calligraphy. I wanted to start off with quite possibly the biggest difference between Calligraphy and every other model of the Santa Fe. Only the Santa Fe Calligraphies have a captain's chair for the second row. Now, while technically you are losing one seating position, I think you more than make up for it with the premium feeling seats, and technically you still do have also a 6-passenger SUV. And the premium feeling of the seats does not start and stop in the captain's chairs, because every single seat inside of the Calligraphy is wrapped in quilted Napa leather. If you make your way up front and look between the front 2 seats, most Santa Fe's only have one wireless charger and one place to rest your phone, but both these little rubber mats are wireless chargers, and they are only available on Calligraphy. Now, as you drive the Santa Fe, if you look straight through the glass, you usually only see what's in front of the car, but Calligraphy has something special. It is called heads-up display, so it's like a little hologram on the glass. It can show a lot of things, like how fast you're traveling, whether to make a left or a right if you're using navigation, and even if somebody's in your blind spot. But let's say if you need to look back and there's a bunch of stuff or people in your way. Well, if you can't see through the regular mirror, flip the little switch under the mirror and you will get a live stream of what happens behind the car as you drive down the road. And guys, don't forget, take it from a seasoned salesperson. There is nothing like buying a car from somebody that you know. And now that you know me, if you happen to live in or around Orlando, all you got to do is click the little link below that says schedule with Miguel, make an appointment, and then come on into the dealership to deal with me directly, because I would love to help you out with your next new Hyundai. But now that you know that, thank you for watching the video. Those are most of the major differences between the 24 and 25 Santa Fe hybrid models. And no, I didn't talk about all the little minor stuff because it would take way too long and I'm too fun for that. But if you like these videos, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget, hit the little bell notification so you can be alerted to the instant I upload my newest video. But until next time, I'm the Gary Car Guy, and I'll see you soon.